everybody. I'm Christy Carlson Romano.
And I'm Brendan Rooney.
And this is
Bucket List Bistro.
Since it's difficult to travel during these trying times, we figured why not bring a little taste of all the places we are unable to travel to right into the kitchen.
And right to yours. So today we're going to be taking a little trip to one of our favorite places and one that holds a special place in our hearts.
Yes.
We're going to
Italy!
Italy.
We're going to make handmade ravioli and sauce. All right, let's do it. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Okay, so we're going to start with making our pasta dough. And to do that, we're going to need
3 eggs,
5½ cups of flour,
olive oil,
and water. Pretty simple.
and these eggs are a little special because they come from our chickens in our backyard.
Yeah, well, they're your chickens because I don't take care of them. By the way, honey, did you notice what I'm wearing?
I did.
Brendan proposed to me in Italy on a gondola. It was the most romantic thing ever. And I decided that for today, I would wear the dress and recreate that moment.
We did that in Venezia.
Yes, we did. And by the way, I need you to zip me up because this is not working.
Oh.
Could you please? All right, let's make some dough. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is create a well. You're basically just doing it so that you can put other ingredients in it before mixing it. Ooh, you know what I think we should do now that my beautiful dress has gotten its time to shine?
Apron time.
Yeah, aprons.
Yeah.
Let's like snap our fingers and get aprons on. Okay, now let's make our pasta. So we've got our well going. Go ahead and crack them eggs.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. Make our mixture and then put it in the well. Let's go ahead and pour the olive oil in.
You're just gonna give that a little whisk. Then you're gonna pour in some water. It helps to have an extra set of hands in the kitchen.
It does.
Instead of using like one of those plug-in mixers, we're gonna use our hands because we wanna get into the tradition of how this was done back in the day in Italy.
Listen, I'm Italian. We use our hands. It's what we do. Let's use our hands.
Let's use those hands.
All right, so we're gonna make our dough. We're gonna make our dough.
We should talk about your like deep Italian roots and like kind of how my family pretends they're Italian. Your great-great-grandparents were cooking for like royalty in Italy.
Yep.
And then they moved to Connecticut and your grandparents started one of the biggest bakeries in Connecticut, right? What was it called?
Mama Romano's and 6 sons.
Right.
Yep, she had 6 sons, my poor grandmother. I grew up in the bakery with my siblings. They made beautiful, beautiful Italian rum cakes for weddings all around the tri-state area on the East Coast. I mean, the smell of that bakery, I remember it to this day.
And then my grandmother basically like thought she was Italian.
Yep, still does.
And she still does. Shout out to Joanne.
Shout out
Love
to
you,
Joanne
Grandma.
and your sauce.
And your sauce.
All right, I think this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. All right, so now that we got the dough, we're gonna go ahead and let it sit while we start to make the sauce.
The sauce.
The sauce.
The sauce.
The sauce. All right, so let's get started. First, we're gonna brown our meat. Here is beef, here is pork.
All right, before we do that, gotta add a little olive oil.
Oh, yes. Bren, do you remember when you made me the most amazing bolognese? When we were by the Rialto Bridge, we were staying at some Airbnb.
I do.
This was the same trip when he proposed. Lots of stories to tell you guys about our trip to Italy.
So we put in here our beef and pork mixture, and we're gonna let that sizzle for a bit. And in the meantime, I think we should chop an onion.
Oh, you chop the onion because I am not good at that and I always cry. Always.
I don't know if it's you acting or you're crying. You're such a good actor, it's hard to tell.
I am. Stop it.
So we're just gonna chop this onion. We happen to grow this one in our backyard. Trying to do the sustainability thing, man.
Hey, Brennan, do you remember that you bought the most amazing meat at the Rialto market when we were staying in Italy? Everything in Italy is so, so fresh. I'd never experienced that. Italy was my first trip to Europe. So the experience that we had that one day when we went to the Colosseum.
Ah, just kidding.
What?
Continue.
Here we go. This is a nice browning, don't you think? Let's go.
Yeah, that looks great.
Let's go.
So let's get some mitts.
I've got these mitts here. They're perfect for this.
Get your mitts off my beef.
Dad jokes. Dad jokes.
Got them all. Most of my jokes are not dad jokes, but they're not appropriate for the show. Now we're gonna get some olive oil, throw it in the pan, and we're gonna simmer these onions until they're translucent. We have white and yellow onions here.
This kitchen's about to smell amazing.
Make sure you put enough olive oil to cook those down a bit.
We love olive oil. We were actually supposed to go olive oil tasting, but Brendan got sick.
I ate something weird. I was eating a lot on that trip. I got on the back of a random motorbike.
Well, yeah, because we went out and there was lots of limoncello. Let's just put it that way.
Well, anyway, I got sick, and we had to cancel a couple of our events. namely going to Tuscany and doing some olive oil and wine tasting.
Right.
And I was in and out of the Italian hospital.
Yes, he was.
But that didn't stop me from proposing.
I know. So here's the thing. This is what makes this story and our trip so epic. So Brendan got sick and he was bedridden at a hospital in Italy, which is very different than the hospitals in the United States.
Well, we just didn't speak English, and
that doesn't help.
I'm in their country, so it's on me.
I think this whole experience brought us so close together that by the time he proposed, we were like bonded over that whole trip.
Oh yeah.
It could have gone 2 ways, right?
Well, I learned during that trip that you were going to be an amazing mother because you helped nurse me back to health.
Well, I had no choice. I wanted this ring.
You had a feeling. You knew.
So once that's translucent, we'll do our other side of the base, which the base of any good Italian food is, in this sauce, is like
olive oil, onions, garlic. Here's the key. When you mince your garlic, when you chop your garlic, what have you, if you see a little green shoot in there, make sure you remove the whole thing because that's going to make it bitter. And it's going to give it a kind of a spice. It's good in some food, but in your sauce base, you don't want that. Make sure it's clean. And we're going to let that
simmer.
Cook. You don't let it simmer for too long before you put it in the next part because garlic can burn very easily. So you just want to go about 30 seconds or so.
Okay. Now we're going to pour in half the red wine. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to put in our spices. We've got rosemary, oregano, and thyme. And we're going to go ahead and dump them in.
Boom. So once this is simmered for about, 2 minutes?
Sure.
Then we put the meat in?
Yeah. So much of this type of cooking is letting all of the flavors combine with one another. And based on whether you put the spices in now or whether you put it in later, it can really be the difference of his grandparents' Italian cooking and my parents' cooking.
But you're at your own home, so we're giving you the recipe, but you can, of course, throw in whatever you want and alter it a little bit.
Hey, let's go ahead and put the meat in there.
So now we're going to put in the rest of the red wine.
Yep.
We're going to add our paste. What are we adding now, honey?
Ugh, the sauce.
We're adding some sauce. All right. So we're going to add some celery.
Boom.
We're going to add some parm.
Boom.
We're adding a little salt and pepper. And then we're going to let this simmer for about an hour.
Okay, guys, so now we're ready to make the filling for our ravioli. We've got our mozzarella, our ricotta, our egg, our Parmesan, our garlic, our oregano, our parsley, and our basil. And all we have to do is mix them together.
Awesome.
You want to help me?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
Bye-bye, ricotta.
Oh, I love ricotta. Ricotta is so great. You can use it. Can't you use it in like desserts as well and baking? What are you doing?
I feel like
what are you doing?
Kind of like a slow dance. No? You're wearing the proposal dress. So we've added some egg.
Crazy kids, crazy kids. Can you dump these things in?
I sure can.
Okay, while I stir the bowl. All right, look at how beautiful this looks. And some of this garlic. Oh, I love it. Seriously, you put ricotta in any kind of mixture and it just tastes better.
It does.
Now let's make the dough.
Ooh, we're gonna roll the dough.
Make a dough.
Before we do that, let's put a little flour on that cutting board.
Oh my gosh, this is throwing me back. You wanna know why it's throwing me back?
Why is it throwing you back?
My grandmother's from Italy, and she was an excellent cook. Excellent, excellent cook. Anyway, she had an apron that said, if you don't like my cooking, I don't like your face, or something like that. And it had like an Italian woman holding one of these. Try to make it thin so that we can really cut into this and make our ravioli look really nice.
I'm so excited.
Me too. This is gonna be awesome.
And now we're just gonna cut a couple of squares.
So fun.
This is fun.
You're actually gonna use a lot less of this than you think you should. So go easy on this.
This is cool. We make a lot of Italian food in our house, and we just love
and we miss
homemade
Italy.
pasta. Looking good.
I think so. We're gonna keep making these so we have enough for dinner.
Sounds good. So now that we have our water boiling, we're gonna add a little salt, and make sure you wait until you boil, or it'll slow the boiling process down.
You're so good.
It's to stop everything from sticking.
Look how awesome the ravioli looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in, and you can stir.
3 minutes, we're gonna cook those.
Yeah, very quickly.
You'll also know when these are done because they'll float to the top. So you wanna give the sauce a try?
Yes, I do.
All right. Oh, careful.
Perfect. Oh, wow, that red wine. It's so good, Brendan. They're floating.
They're floating, which means
floating.
they're finito.
Hey.
All right, here we go. We're gonna get these ravioli in our bowl.
Look at that.
We're just gonna kind of spoon our sauce on top. Now we have 2 different approaches to our Parmesan.
I like the really bad, generic Parmesan that comes in a bottle.
I like it from the northern region of Italy.
Aged.
By one specific cow. Aged for 937 days, exactly.
Exactly. He's kind of very particular about his Parmesan.
Okay, that's not true.
But
as long as it's good Parmigiano Reggiano, we put it in here.
You're not Italian.
We close it. Hey, I look like it could be from Milano, right?
No.
Are you okay with the fresh Parmigiano?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Look at that. Stop. Stop. I'm hungry. Okay, we're ready to taste it. Let's do this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That
What?
sauce is unbelievable.
Thank you. We did it together.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna finish yours.
Guys, this is amazing. So good. Mangiamo. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this amazing Bucket List Bistro episode. Please check back every 2 weeks on the Taste of Fox YouTube channel for more episodes, and we'll see you later.
Don't forget your passport.